Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the Outskirts. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for October 25th, 2020, with your host, Peacemaker2448, Rapid Epsilon, and Tommy Gun 2442, if he feels like chiming in on things he probably didn't watch.
Yeah, sure.
Hi.
You get to hear about the nonsense of the show Arrow of Rider, more or less.
Beautiful.
And don't worry, even though it's episode 60 and a 90-something episode series, you are not missing much story-wise. And
No.
pretty much, you know how Hongo came to be, right? If so, good. Because that's about the only story that has progressed.
Yep, we have transitioned protagonists twice. And we have not changed the status quo that much since then. All we have changed is what Ichigo looks like.
I am currently playing Civ 5.
Which means he more than likely will not be paying attention. Also, thanks, Bot, for now reposting in Discord.
Yay. So yeah, folks, we're back to this until we either give up or we're done. Which is only like 10 more
comes
weeks,
first.
So who knows? Maybe we'll get through it. We just have to power through it for the rest of the year, more or less. If we do, we'll be done with the show in January.
Leave it to you to have figured it out, how long we'll be going.
Yep. Mother...
Really?
Again? That is like the 6th fucking time. Where is this bot coming from? I demand
Also,
the
why
ability
is the bot not doing that itself? Like, wait a minute.
I don't know.
Now
I might
that's
be
aggravating.
getting it before the bot gets a chance to.
Yeah, that's not how that's supposed to work.
I mean, I'm sure it's not, but...
I mean, worst case, I'll turn Nightbot on too and let it be saying get out. Now. Also, I may have forgot where that.
But yeah, folks, we're back with the original series. We're at 60 through 64. More or less. Are you ready for more one-off episodes that we've been dealing with for like...
Oh, they changed the link.
several weeks.
Oh.
You might want to do just the text.
Oh, I did, but they're changing it up. Okay. Okay.
What changed?
Well, that one, for instance, didn't have the exclamation point that the other one did when I copied it. Because I didn't actually have the link in there. So, fine. We'll play hardball. At hey, that's not what I put in there. Oh wait, yeah, it is. There we go. And that guy. I will overload the blacklist for this. I am perfectly fine with that.
Fuck this one bot that keeps telling us to buy followers and shit. No, fuck you. Get out. Out of here with you.
What's bad is I don't think it's just the one bot. Because like I said, the link has actually changed. But there. Now the next one that tries it, we'll see if the bot catches it. I took various parts of that message and I pasted it. So surely it'll catch it off of something. God, that's obnoxious.
So...
And it stays on the frickin' on-screen chat for so long, too.
So we've got 4 episodes that are more or less one-offs that are all Hongo, Taki, and Tachibana go deal with problems, and Goro and the girls are here. And also there's 2 more kids because the Rider Club from like that one Superhero Tyson thing needs to show up at some point. So here's a hint towards that happening, because you know what the show needs? More supporting cast members that are pointless. Like, that's exactly what this show needs, is more supporting cast members that are fucking pointless. Because we don't have enough of those.
Yeah, we totally aren't in like the double digits of those already.
Uh-huh. So yeah, any thoughts going into these episodes?
Why?
Because that's how clocks work, right?
I wasn't even talking about the episode itself yet. That's a whole
Because that's
nother
how-
why right there.
Because that's how clocks works, that's how x-rays works, that's how poisons work,
Yeah.
that's how stuff work, that's how gas works when it comes into contact with something that I think explodes. Oh, that's how electricity works? That's another one to come. Anyway.
You know, I'm fine with the writer show trying to do something crazy and creative. I am not dissing Ichigo for that. It's more for the we're going uber bonkers for no discernible reason.
It's like the most interesting thing of the show is how stupid and dumb is the science?
And by that you mean lack of science.
Exactly. That is the most interesting thing in the show right now, of just like, okay, what nonsensical excuse do they have to make the thing happen in this week?
Because the main reason why I'm like, I am perfectly fine with them doing some kind of crazy something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just we're going beyond that step is because, I mean, to be fair, when we first knew about Gaim, Fruit Riders, yeah, you can't get any more crazier than that.
Yeah. Anyway, you ready to hit the episodes?
I guess.
Alright, so we pick up on episode 60, Mysterious Owl Man's Murderous X-Rays. So Ambassador Hell has a new monster, and it's an owl man who has X-ray eyes that can turn people into skeletons. Because that's how X-rays work. Like, literally, just poof, all your squishy bits are gone. You are now just a skeleton. You are dead.
Also, that'll be the first of 2 times we'll have that statement about X-rays. The second one will be coupled with another thing.
Well, that, and then there's another thing that also turns people into skeletons. And I'm like, why is this being used twice?
Because they got rid of all the goop that was bubbling from before.
Ow.
So now we've got to use the skeleton prop to its fullest.
Yeah. So anyway, Owlman's sent to go test his powers, and he does this on a couple of tennis players' coaches. The coach who gets murdered. And then those tennis players who are girls see this, and they try to run away, but one of them gets captured and is sent off to Chakra's mines, and is not followed up on for the rest of the episode. So I don't know what happened to her. She doesn't exist past this point, I think.
She's just part of Chakra now.
Yep.
We don't talk about her.
But the other one does get away and tries to get a cop's attention. But he waves it off as nonsense because we've done this plot before. So here is this plot again of a cop does not believe the person's thing about monsters. even though this is a regular thing in this fucking town.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever.
Which, that's okay. Karma bites him in the butt later.
Yeah. So at this point, Owlman tries to find her. She hides out in, I think, in like a phone booth and duck shock her. But this is when Hongo just randomly drives on the set and she flags him down and explains the situation and shows him the skeleton that is off in the ravine that Shocker didn't take because we don't clean up our messes.
Well, and on top of that, bear in mind, she flagged down Hongo, who we as a viewer knows is a good idea to flag down and tell him this. But her as a person, she basically just flagged down this random person that just so happened to believe her. Do we see a problem here?
Yeah. But anyway, Hongo, seeing all this, decides, I'm going to take the skeleton to a lab and have it analyzed. And I just go, so you're going to drive down the road with the skeleton on the back of your bike in some way and not get pulled over by the cops.
And no one's going to question it.
Okay, sure. And you're going to show up to the lab with your scientist buddy being like, hey, I got this whole ass skeleton that needs to be analyzed. And he's just gonna be like, okay. like not gonna question where you got a whole ass skeleton from?
The only answer I can have for that part of it is, we never did see his scientist friend, so maybe he wasn't there?
No, he was there. He was talking to him about it, and the guy told him about the whole, it's irradiated with X-rays. And he's just like, okay, cool. And he just takes the information to Taki, who's like next door. Just waiting.
Oh.
Look, I don't pay attention to this show that much for some parts of it, but I do pay attention enough to just go, oh yeah, this character does exist.
I mean... I figured that was yet another one of those weird jump cuts that the show loves doing too.
It does jump cut to it, but jump cuts to it like after the analysis is done and he's talking to his scientist buddy. Like I said, it is really easy to just zone out of this show and just miss shit. Somehow I don't. I think.
I feel like I have to.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut over to the Shocker base now, where we find out that Owlman is now in charge of a plan to blow up a bunch of clock towers around Japan that will then, when they explode, blow up all other clocks in the country.
Because that's how clocks work. And also that's how X-rays work on clocks.
Yes. No, it's how X-rays work on explosives that they've put in the clock towers. You see, the X-ray is the signal to blow up all the bombs at the same time, and that explosion is what causes the chain reaction to explode everyone's alarm clocks. That way nobody knows what time it is.
Because, we definitely didn't have a way to tell time before clocks. Also, what's the good in that Shocker? Come on.
Anyway, at this point, we cut back to Hongo at the lab, and he's just like, oh, I found out that X-rays killed him. And he goes talk to Taki, being like, all right, it was this guy. Let's go investigate this area with a Geiger counter to see if we find something, which I don't think detects X-rays, but okay, sure.
Thank you. The whole time I was like, that's not how that works either.
I was about to say,
did we not do any research at all on this?
I don't think a Geiger counter technically is calibrated to get to the range of X-rays.
Hey. Do you work with Geiger counters every day? No? Then you don't get to input.
I am almost positive that is not how that works. If I am wrong, someone is more than can be more than glad to correct me on that, but I really do not think that's how that works.
Can you jam a Geiger counter?
I really don't think can happen.
What?
Yeah, that happens.
Can you jam a Geiger counter so it can't detect the radiation signal that it was just detecting 5 feet ago?
No, that's not how radiation works.
Well, that happened in the show, so...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah. Yep. And when it happened, I was like, excuse me? We just took something that actually shouldn't be working and then made it worse? Excuse me?
It's not working anymore, guys. It's more realistic, right? Guys?
Anyway, speaking of the Geiger counter, Taki and Hayato, or Taki and... Why did I say Hayato? Taki and Hongo take one out to this field to try to investigate, like the next day. But the night before, we see Owlman kill the cop from earlier, and he sets up a bomb in another clock tower to make it explode when they decide to do the plan to make everything explode.
That I almost feel like was shoehorned in.
Yes. Anyway, we follow Taki and Hongo the next day. They find evidence of Owlman in this area, only for Owlman and Shocker to attack because fuck subtlety is Shocker's motto. Oh no, they found evidence of us. Let's go kill them now. So Hongo transforms to fight them, and him and Taki are fighting them for a bit until a couple of goons get Hongo like tied up and held up so he can get hit by an X-ray attack that hurts him greatly. But Taki makes a save so he doesn't get hit twice, but gets clobbered, so the pair of them have to retreat to the club. And over at the club, the gang has found out about the whole situation that Taki and Hongo had not told them about. Because they're like, oh yeah, a bunch of skeletons are showing up around town and stuff. That sounds bad. So, more or less everyone gets caught up at this point. And Taki's put on the shelf for a little bit because he got clocked in the head too hard by Owlman. So now Hongo and Tachibana are off to investigate. And this is where we get the whole, they follow a Geiger counter to a base and then it gets jammed by stuff Shocker has to stop people from investigating within spitting distance of their base.
Okay. Theoretically, a Geiger counter can pick up X-rays. However, it cannot measure the dose rate of X-rays. So it can detect them, it just can't tell you how much is there.
So it defeats the entire purpose of them using it to try to find out where Owlman is.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Good to know. Anyway, so they find the Shocker base, and instead of breaking into the base, they decide to kidnap a goon and try to get information out of him back at the club. Why?
So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys.
Reasons.
It's okay. Just,
Reasons.
don't think about it.
Yeah.
So they kidnap the guy, they take it back to base, they try to get information out of him, and he almost starts to talk about it, but then Shocker delivery service kicks in and they deliver a knife straight to the guy's back, and it slowly kills him, but it's slow enough that he draws a clock, and that gives Hongo and Taki the clue of clocks are involved. But not much more than that. But they are like, oh, hey, there's a park that the skeleton was found at, and there's a clock there, so they go to investigate that. But before that, at the Shocker base, Owlman's reprimanded for his actions, and he takes it out on one of their hostages that is building a bomb thing, something tech-wise. I don't know. I don't care. Anyway, someone else dies and gets turned into a skeleton.
Someone else that we don't know.
Yep. Anyway, at the park, Hongo and Taki find the bomb, and they go, that place we were at before. That's the base. Let's go take it out, because, oh no, they're on a countdown timer now that they know about. I guess.
for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know about the countdown timer. So they go and crash the base. They go through some goons. Taki handles some goons. Hongo also tries to handle them on his bike, but they proceed to light a ring of fire around him. But Hongo is fireproof, and he can jump really far, so he jumps into the lake to douse himself with the fire, and then he yeets himself out of the lake onto the top of the base. Because he can do that.
I mean, we don't question the show.
Yep. It's hilarious to watch, mind you, but... So, he breaks through the roof, tries to stop Owlman, and the Bastard Hill gets away in the chaos. Him and Taki clean house, and then Hongo does a rider giant swing and a rider kick to Owlman. He goes boom. Day is saved, but we don't follow up on those kids from the beginning of the episode because I guess the rider forgot about them, so they're probably okay. I don't know. Moving on.
We have more important things to deal with than children, damn it.
And by that, we mean we have less important things.
Speaking of children, the next episode, episode 61, Monster Catfishler's Electric Hell. So, a pilot from the Japanese military, I assume, I don't know what his technical designation is. It doesn't matter because he gets shot down immediately by Shocker's submarine that is visible on the surface of the water because I guess they just wanted to shoot something.
Well, they had to test the new gun.
That is absolutely pointless to the episode, so I don't know why they're protesting it. And also alerting. Anyway, Dr. Death's back on the show now because he's inside the sub and he's coming up from South America to deliver Shocker's newest creation. Meanwhile, Goro and the girls are nearby on vacation or something. I don't know. They're watching the fucking Flamingo show because they need to be doing something this week for a change. Oh well. Anyway, over to the base. Dr. Death introduces his new killer catfish monster with whiskers that deliver stupid amount of electricity into people, and it will totally kill Hongo this time. And we find out the Hongo's with Taki, and they're going to where everyone else is currently. Anyway, back over to the gang. They're watching the Flamingo show, and then Goro and two of the girls that I don't remember which one's the name of, even though they said in the show, because the fucking girls on the show are interchangeable at this point, so... Which absolutely sucks to say, but they are incredibly interchangeable to the point of I don't know who is who anymore after we took this 6-week break.
I don't remember.
Anyway, Goro chases two of the girls in the tunnel. The girls lose him in the tunnel. And then Goro gets captured by Shocker, who are set up in said tunnel. Because of course they are. And then the gang's just like, oh no, Goro's gone, and we have to go try to find him. Except not. Because Dr. Death intercepts Hongo and Taki on the road. Just like, by the way, I kidnapped that one kid you hang out with all the time. And then sicks some goons on them. And as the battle's happening, Goro gets turned into a living taser because that's how electricity works. We'll get to what I mean by that later. Anyway,
bro.
60,000 volts cannot be stored in the human body.
No.
Says you. You doubt the limits of human.
Well, seeing as how,
intelligence.
if I'm not mistaken, I think early in the show we had a point where one of the monsters, I'm wanting to say, had like 20 or 30,000, and that was enough to kill a fool. Yeah, this shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I think you're overthinking it, bro. It's okay.
Like when it's in your own show, that's a problem.
Mhm. So back over to Hongo and Taki, they held off Shocker until the catfish monster's like, I'm done fighting you. I'm leaving. Bye. So he leaves, and then Hongo and Taki go meet up with the club and try to figure out where the fuck Doro is. But over at the base, we find out that the monster needs to recharge from this tower because nobody thought to bring a charger with them, so they have to recharge him by just shining a solar panel on him or something. I don't fucking know. It's stupid. Anyway, the gang enjoys some Hawaiian themed show instead of looking for Goro because I guess they're just gonna wait for Shocker to come after them because might as well.
I mean, they haven't killed any of the supporting cast so far, right? I mean,
even though they've tried several times. several times. I think they've tried to kill everyone else but Hongo and Tachi, or Hongo and Hayato.
I mean, to be fair, even in this episode, the monster was gonna kill Goro, but then got stopped.
Yeah. Anyway, Goro shows up at the hotel room for the girls and Tachibana, and the girls try to touch him, and they get shocked and knocked out. And then Tachibana shows up, and he touches Goro, and he gets knocked out. Which I would just point out in the episode, you can spot when Tachibana runs past Goro, he actually touches his arm, because you see Goro move his arm.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And if I'm not mistaken, I think before the Shocker Goons actually get electrocuted, they might have done the same thing.
Probably. It doesn't help that they told Goro to stand perfectly still in the center of this, in the doorway of this one room. That everyone needs to walk past him.
That is not that big.
Yeah. Like, this is a fairly small hotel room.
Yeah, they weren't thinking that through.
Yeah. Anyway, with everybody knocked out, Shocker tries to, I guess, kidnap them and turn them into tasers as well, or something. Fuck if I know. But Hongo and Taki intervene. They kick the Shocker Goons' butts and wake everybody up, and also knock the brainwashing thing off Goro. And also, I guess he shocked enough people to run out of juice because he can't shock anyone anymore. Because that's how that works.
What little bit was left in him, Hongo could handle?
I guess.
Because I think he even made that comment, like, "Oh, I can handle a little bit of electricity," and then immediately was like, "Oh, well, he doesn't have a charge anymore." It's like, really, that quick, really?
Yeah. So anyway, with this out of the way, Hongo and Taki go to the tunnels to try to find Shocker. They split up. Taki gets kidnapped again because it's a week of this series. Taki's got to get kidnapped at some point. He gets turned into a taser this time. And I guess 2 hours later, Hongo leaves the tunnel, goes to this seaside area. Taki tries to run him over and kill him, but Hongo just knocks his ass out because I guess the electricity doesn't work on him, even though they said it should. Whatever. Anyway, Taki's handled. Hongo fights Shocker Goons and Monster per usual. Club decides to pitch in this time, and they break the tower so the monster can't recharge. So Hongo blows up tower and monster with Rider Wall Kick, and we're done for the week. So how'd you feel about these two?
Ugh.
God. I'm reminded of why we stopped the show and went and watched Build Fighters.
Yep.
Because it's just this for 2 more episodes. It's just these one-off, we'll get you this time, Hongo, and nope.
Like I said, I am fine with these one-offs. If we go back to where we're forcing it to be two-parters, then that might be the point where I'm like, nope, I can't anymore.
Let's go punch Bill Fire's try where the answer to everything is punch it.
I mean, that's not the answer to everything.
I mean, in Gundam it is. Anyway, ready to hit the second half?
I guess.
Alright. Episode 62! Monster Hedgehog's Murder Skull Plan. So, Hedgehog Man is our new monster, and he tests out his poison quills on a couple and turns them into skeletons! Again! Because we need to use these skeleton props, so...
I also want to point out they're poisonous quills right now. That'll come up again later.
Okay.
Except for the fact that, you know, at some point in between them being poisonous quills, they're explosive quills, and I don't even...
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't even...
Yeah.
Because... Okay. I kind of tuned out for most of these episodes. Not gonna lie.
I don't blame you.
I thought I caught them saying that they were poisonous at the beginning. Later, they're explosive. And then by the end of the episode, they're poisonous again. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm fine if they wanted to be both, but why were they not both consistently?
Yeah. So, a couple of cops hear the commotion about this. They come by. They try to stop the monster. Monster's like, fuck you, here's some quills, and turns them into skeletons as well, because just pile up the bodies and just leave them, because that's not suspicious at all.
Well, they're not even piling up the bodies, they're piling up the bones.
Yeah. Anyway, we check in with Goro, who brings two kids to the club because I guess it's a thing now that's like, if you go to the club, you might meet the Kamen Rider. And I have to go, okay, Goro, you know goddamn well what it means to be a part of this club in relation to the Shocker. Why are you bringing your friends into this mess only to be potentially murdered?
Also, on top of that, why has he still not figured out who the rider is?
I don't know, especially because Hongo's transformed in front of him!
Like, even if we exclude that, there is maybe a toss-up between Hongo and Taki. But guess what? You always only see one of them. Not both. So, who could it be?
God damn it. Anyway, Tachiba's asleep and he wakes up. He's just like, you fucking kids. Nah. And then the girls drop by for stuff. And then all of a sudden, quills start piercing the walls of the club because they're trying to murder everyone in the club. So,
by the way, also, I want to, for anyone watching, I want to point out the simple fact why that's annoying the crap out of me is because with Drive, they did similar to this, except you know what was different about it? Most of the supporting cast actually knew.
It's kind of the point.
I mean, it's one of those, sure, have one or two be like, oh, I didn't know that. But when you only have one or two that actually knows, it's like, oh my god.
Anyway, Hongo arrives in time after they try to fend him off to help. because he's like, oh yeah, my apartment got skewered too, and I thought, maybe I should go to the club because they're probably in trouble as well. And then Taki drops by and is like, fucking hell, the whole town's been skewered, and everyone's like, oh no. So it makes the news of, shit, these fucking quills attacked the whole town. Please stay indoors. Don't go out at night. It's probably not going to end well for you.
But do people listen? Of course not.
I mean, they might.
They
I
might. It
honestly
actually
think
doesn't matter because we don't follow up on that part.
And I also don't think any part of the remainder of this episode takes place at night.
It doesn't, and it also doesn't take place in this town. It takes place in another town.
So, for all we know, everyone could have listened.
That's this fucking show. Anyway, we head over to the Shocker base and we find out, they're getting a delivery of the poison from a plane that experiences turbulence and crashes nearby a town. So now Hedgehog Man and some Shocker goons deploy to that town to go find the box that has the poison. Hongo and Taki actually find them in the middle of the road and try to pursue them, but get shaken off on this one-way road, I think. That is a straight road. That they could clearly see them still going down the road after they get hit by the smoke screen.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't think there's a turn on this road that is next to the sea.
I don't think there's a turn. There's some curves. So, I mean, yeah, you might could lose enough distance to maybe temporarily lose them, but not permanent.
But that doesn't help because they know that this road leads to the town that they need to go to start with.
Uh-huh.
So it's pointless.
Uh-huh.
Congratulations, you've only delayed them by like 5 minutes.
Or apparently, as it actually happens, like 15 minutes kind of deal.
Apparently. Anyway, we follow a kid who ends up finding the box with the poison and he decides to hide it in a boat and then leaves. And this is when we see that Shocker invades the town and kidnaps everybody in the town, being like, where's our box? Give us box. We know you hit the box. And I just look at Shocker and go, why? Why are you rounding up the whole town being like, we want our box. Where's the box? And I'm like, you have explained nothing to these people. You have explained nothing to these people about what the fuck's going on. B, you've given them no incentive to turn over the box. And C, how do you even know they hit the box? Do you even know where the fuck the plane went down? And also, D, did you even bother to look before you rounded up everybody in town?
No, because it's easier just to threaten. Someone will say something. Yeah.
So yeah, they do this, and Hedgehog Man kills one of them to make an example out of him. Anyway, we go over to Hongo, who ends up beating that kid from earlier, and gets pretty much nothing out of him. But then an old man pops up to be like, hey, you're looking for a box? I know where the box is. It's in here, because I put it in here. And it's totally Hedgehog Man leading them into a trap. Because fucking course he is. Meaning he can take a human form. So why the fuck aren't they just pretending to be people investigating a crash?
Also, on top of that, I love the fact that Hongo's Shocker sense failed to tingle until after they got locked in there.
Yes, locked in this very secure wood shed.
Yeah. And by
But I'm
very
pretty-
secure, you mean a good swift wind could probably knock it over.
I'm sure Hongo could kick the door down himself.
But the needles.
So, kick the fucking wall where the needle isn't. Okay. Or just kick the door in after they get locked in. Hongo, it's a wood door. You are strong enough to kick open a wood door.
Yeah.
So they end up just Hongo's just like, well, fuck this, grabs Taki and he hops out of the roof because that's his answer to everything in this situation is to just jump out of it. I give them credit for showing an explosion on the roof first before the shed exploded. To at least show that, oh no, they got out first and then everything exploded.
Also, shoutouts to the fact that I believe they blew that shed up twice. Because they kind of jump cut.
Yeah. Yeah, they blew it up twice.
Oops.
Yeah. I think the first time was supposed to show Hongo and Taki leaving through the roof.
But I also think the first time they might have did more damage than they meant to do.
Probably.
Because that super is what that looked like, and I'm like, you didn't mean to do that, did you?
Yeah.
That was a whoops.
So after they break out, they try to fight Shocker. And they are eventually shown, oh no, they've kidnapped all the kids in town, and they're going to kill them if we don't surrender. So they surrender, and they get backed up towards the cliff, and then they get kicked off the cliff. And then we get the wonderful shot of Dummy in Hongo costume, or Dummy in the rider costume, Dummy in Taki's clothes, being tossed off the cliff.
Literally tossed.
I love it when they just put clothes on the mannequin, just throw it everywhere.
I also love the fact that right before then, Hongo told Taki to hold on tight, and then by the time they actually hit the ground, the hands of the mannequins were the only thing even touching.
So yeah, the pair of them take a dive off the cliff. They fake their deaths, more or less. We follow up with Hedgehog Man, who has the kids strung up on the docks in order for the tide to kill them. And he's just like, tell me where the box is, or the kids die, to all the parents who have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, because fucking hell, Shocker is fucking stupid this week.
Just this week? I get the funny feeling that this has been too much of a recurring theme, so now I'm looking back at at any film that has used Shocker as a bad guy, and I'm like, yeah, this is actually not that far-fetched of a portrayal for them now, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I think I liked it better when we were like, yeah, Shocker's modern portrayal is just them being idiots, and that is not actually accurate.
Yeah. I missed the early part of the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, the kid from earlier now drops by. It's like, I know where Box is. I'll take you to Box if you will let everyone live. And Hedgehog's man's like, okay, sure. And then he gets taken to the box. They find the box, and he's like, all right, let's go back and kill everyone. Except Taki freed all the kids and is getting them away on a boat, even though that was clearly a dock connected to the mainland. So why is he rowing them away in a boat? In the dock. Out to sea. Because he's going towards the sea. Instead of back towards land. Taki, what the fuck are you doing? Taki, what's your plan here? I'm confused.
He just likes boats.
I guess. Anyway, Hongo then proceeds to jump out of one of the boats that are just... He just hops out of the door of the boat like, I'm here, alive! I want to fight! It's so... He fights Shockers and Goons and Hedgehog Man, saves the kid, transforms, fight. Rider lightning kick, Hedgehog Man goes boom with the box, and we move on.
I love how you summarized that fight about the same way that I wound up watching it.
It doesn't help that like most of the fights of the series are kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like they either go on for too long, or they just have nothing going on in them.
I feel like most of them go on for too long.
Because also, if you're wondering why I say the fight ends and we move on from the episode, is because the fight is literally the last thing that happens in the episode, and then it's like, well, Hongo saved the day, and he's off to go to his next adventure. And then the episode preview is like, next time, and I'm like, that's literally the end of the episode. It's the end of every fucking episode. It's just Hongo or Hayato rides off to the next episode, and then we get a preview of the next episode. That's the end of the episode every fucking time, because the fight just is the end, the hard end of the episode, more or less.
Yeah, and if it's not, it usually results in a scene where we get one of the other characters doing the "Where's Hongo?" or "Where's Hayato?" and it's like, yeah, we don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, time to blow all of my money to build nothing but military. He's pissed me off.
But yeah,
Also, I accidentally added an extra episode.
I realized that right now.
Yeah. Oops.
Oops.
It's not 5 episodes. It's just the 4, because it's 63. That's our last episode.
I did kind of cut on that. Oops.
Yeah. Oops. Anyway, it's episode 63, our last episode. Monster Rhino Gang's Auto Race of Death. So, this is probably the episode I tuned out the most on, since it was the last episode. So, I'm probably missing details here. But more or less, Hongo and Taki are entering a race to help some kid whose leg is broken, that he needs to go to America to get it fixed because they have better medicine than us or something. Fuck if I know. I don't know. That's more or less the plot. But Shocker has their own plot this week, as Dr. Death is like, I want Rhino Man to go kill Hongo, and then Rider Man shows up because he drives through some checkpoint as his monster form, because fuck it, I don't care. But their plan is to kidnap some guy in the race who is the brother of the kid, I think, and then hypnotize him so that he will kill Hongo for them, or at least help kill Hongo for them, because that's worked every other time we've tried that, which is literally half the times we've tried to kill Hongo at this point.
Yeah.
So they do this as the girls are checking in on the kid. And their plan A in this situation is to have the guy go up to where Hongo is, challenge him to a one-on-one race, just for funsies, drive to a secluded area, fake engine problems, so that Shocker can't ambush him and blind Hongo, and then they attack him and pretty much rough him up for a bit until he gets tossed off a cliff. Only he grabbed a branch, so he saved himself, and then he goes back to the gang to help get his eyesight back, which Shocker knows about before Rhino Man gets back, so they didn't move to Plan B. Which Plan B is to just fuck up Hongo in the race proper, because I guess that was really Plan A the whole time. And this one was just a dry run. Or something. I don't know. Anyway, we get to the race. Everyone starts the race, and we follow Hongo as he gets waylaid by the guy and is pulled into another ambush, except Hongo knows this time that he's brainwashed, because he just straight up attacks him. Or the guy straight up attacks Hongo, and then he gets attacked by Shocker, and he's like, ah, shit. So he has to fight off Shocker before he gets to move on with Taki, which leads us to the checkpoint where everyone in the race is refueling. And the guy gets there first, but Shocker, for some reason, decides to put crap in something in Hongo's gas can, his assigned gas can, so it will make the bike explode or something. Except the guy ends up getting that gas can on accident from his pit crew. So it's in his bike first. And by the time Hongo and gang get there, the gas can that is Hongo's is like melted. So why did they not do it later? So it wouldn't be noticeable that they sabotaged his gas can?
Yeah.
God damn it. Anyway, now Hongo and Taki realize, ah shit, Shocker's fucked up. They put that guy in danger. We need to go save him. More so than what we were going to do before. So they go, they save the guy. They have to fight off Rhino Man. Hongo does this by pretty much rider yeeting Rhino Man off a cliff and down a hill, and he explodes. And Hongo and Taki manage to catch up and win the race, and then they get the ticket, and they slide the ticket to the kid and the brother, so he can go to America and get his leg fixed. So yay, and that's pretty much the episode.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Okay, I was pretty sure I did somewhere along the way.
No,
It felt like I did.
you got it all. There was just a ton of it that could have been summarized like way up, and
Yeah.
you managed to do that. So
Yeah, so that's our last episode. That's our 4 episodes. How'd you feel after those 2?
about the same actually.
Makes sense. This
Yeah,
why can't the show be interesting?
I don't know. Like, I really wish there was an answer to that one.
I missed the early part of the show when it seemed like fun and interesting, and then
And like it
just
could
stopped.
actually have progressed somewhere.
Yeah, and now it doesn't, because we've just swapped out villains again, because Ambassador Hell's gone, and now Dr. Death is the one in charge. And I'm just like, we've just swapped bad guys, but nothing's changed. Again. And I'm bored. I'm bored after watching this show. Which is a nice coincidence to have, since I'm bored watching Saber right now.
Yep.
And that was a weird thing, because I was in the Soda Pop Discord, watching people talk about, writer stuff from this weekend. And Melissa's pointed out that's like, yeah, I frustratingly like the show for all the reasons everyone doesn't like the show. And it's not like I don't like Saber. There's nothing about Saber that I hate. Besides Kenzan, because he's a shithead.
I've honestly not found anything that I hate with Saber so far. It's more of a case of it's just not doing anything. And it's like, I don't feel like I want to invest in what feels like another Ghost.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that's all there is to it. Because Ghost had potential, but it also squandered it too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, ooh. And on top of that, we know the Ghost Rider is the one doing Saber.
Yeah.
And, we kind of played off the fact that, he wasn't really around for a lot of Ghost. So maybe there was problems elsewhere with Ghost. But now looking at Saber, I'm wondering if that's actually what happened, or if it was a case of they tried to stay as close to what the main writer had for it.
Yeah. I'm actually checking writing credits now, just to be like, has he written more episodes?
If I'm not mistaken, I think at the point we're in, it's Saber he's wrote more for Saber than he had at Ghost at this point.
Let's see, he's written 1, 2, 5, 6, and that's it. He's written 4 episodes out of 9. Or he will write 4 episodes out of 9. The other...
I think that's more than he did for Ghost.
Yeah, the other 5 are actually by 2 different writers, or split between 2 different writers. It's split between Nobuhiro Mori, who was like the major secondary writer on Ghost, and Keiji Hasegawa, who was a secondary writer on Double and Force 8 and Drive and Ghost.
Okay, I take that back. He wrote more for Ghost at this point.
What do you have to do to actually build the space or the space shuttle? What do you have to actually do? I've got the booster, I've got the cockpit, the engine is being worked on, and the stasis chamber is being worked on.
I think you just build all those and then it just happens. I don't remember, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just bored by Saber because it's just, here's toys and forms and writers and everything, and none of it has any weight to it because it's just thrown out there because we just got to get this shit done. And there's nothing really going on. Like this week's episode has this whole thing about all of our writers finally forming a unit, and I just go, this is like the first opportunity they've had to actually be a team. It's not like they've had a chance to be a team before and they've just decided, no, this is literally the first time they've had the opportunity to be a team, and now they're a team. Like, this isn't some like build up to them becoming a team of writers. It's just, hey, they're a team of writers now, because this is literally the first opportunity all 5 of them literally have gotten to be together. Because like Buster was pretty much MIA for the last like 2 episodes. And Kenzan just showed up within the last 2 episodes. So like I'm just bored. I just want Saber to do something fun and interesting. And Saber getting used as a sword by a giant robot King Arthur is not enough. Unfortunately. It's not enough. This show's not doing anything interesting or fun. And I'm bored. I'm just bored. At least Geo, I felt something every week. This, I'm just like, I'm so bored.
Fair.
And how it is terrible of me to give Geo a compliment in that direction.
Yeah. Kind of. I mean, fair.
Yeah.
And I also feel like, at least with Geo, I was fine with watching it. It was annoying, but I was fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with this, I'm just like, it feels like the transformations are too long. It feels like we're not progressing anything with the fights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the bulk of the start of Saber, I feel like could have been cut down to half the episodes with the content that we're actually getting.
Yeah.
And that's a problem, because that's the same problem Ichigo's got.
Yeah. Also, you saying that the transformations are too long is hilarious, because we only got 1 on-screen transformation this week. All of them were off-screen transformations, except for 1, and it was the one for King Arthur.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was... can't remember how many episodes I'm actually back on it. I think the last one I watched was when they first started, kind of nerfing the transformations.
Yeah.
But I feel like that needed to be done way sooner than it was.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind the long transformations if it felt like it was a moment that was worth it. Like, we have all five of our riders transforming at the same time this week, and we don't do them. And then we have 4 of them transform together, and then we don't do it. But when Saber is by himself and goes into his Arthur form, then we bust out the transformation. And I go, why can't we show all 4 of them transforming together with the books and stuff? Like,
I feel like, as far as the long transformations, I would be fine if they were used in moderation.
mm-hmm.
Like, if it's an important form, sure. I can get doing a solo one if it's an important form. Otherwise, I feel like we should be utilizing that for the group ones.
Yeah.
Because then it kind of holds a little more merit. It's one of those, I feel like we overused the solo one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just frustrated with the show because again, just to reference this week's episode, they're like, Blades has grown to be like the strongest of us because he's got all 3 of his books, and I go, that was literally fucking last week. Like, and we didn't even get that much into his backstory with his master who was killed by Wolfman guy. Like, the show needs to, like, put shit in to make this show feel like it has weight to it, or like anything to it.
Oh, they're putting a lot of stuff in. It's called All the Toys.
It needs plot and character work, and it has none of those.
Mm-hmm.
It has exactly 0 of those. It tries to have a thing for Toma this week, but I'm like, you fucking have gotten nothing till like now, and all of a sudden you have insecurities about if you can get this power, utilize this power or not, that you just got last week at the end of the episode. You just got it, and you're like, I don't know if I can get this at full power. I'm like, you just fucking got it. Why are you insecure about it now? Why hasn't it been like 2 weeks and then you worry that you're not getting the full power out of it because it doesn't feel like you're getting it?
Okay.
You used it once! Fucking once!
Okay, to be fair, does that not sound familiar?
Yes.
I seem to recall when, not long, if it wasn't the next week, I know it wasn't too long after Boost's debut, we kind of had the exact same thing happen. And it's like,
yeah. It just feels weird because I see people say that the show is moving too fast, and I just go, this show hasn't moved at all.
If
the only
people
reason
are thinking this show is moving too fast, then did they want people to slam on the brakes with 0-1? Because, I mean, heck, it was moving faster at this point.
Yeah. The only reason the show feels like it's moving fast is because it keeps throwing forms and stuff at us at like a ridiculous pace to where we have 2 to 3 things debuting every fucking week. Every week consistently.
Which that is the big difference between it and Ghost. Because we just had a new form every week for like the first, 20 episodes easily?
Yeah. I think... No, I can't even say that. I was going to say maybe next week would be the first time or the 2 weeks would be the first time, but no, Slash is going to debut and get a form change in the same episode. Which is, again, in one of those situations of like, there's just too fucking much. And there's not enough room for anything else to happen in this fucking series for me to fucking care. And which is why I feel like the show is moving at a fucking snail's pace, is because nothing is happening that isn't a fucking form or a writer, and I don't care about those if I don't care about the people in the suits.
Because what's bad is, okay, you said next week's Slash's debut.
Yeah.
So that means unless they opt to do off-screen transformation, that's going to be 2 long, drawn-out transformations right there. That's easily going to eat up 5 minutes of the showtime.
Yeah.
It's like, why are we not seeing the problems here?
And I'm seeing people talk about them may or may not deciding to subvert us on Caliper being Espada's dad and it actually be the original Saber. And I just look at all of those and go, thanks. Thanks for ripping out one of the more interesting parts of the show and replacing it with a less interesting part. Because we know fucking nothing about the previous Saber.
I don't think they can do that.
It's what they're teasing because everyone just assumes it's him, but it might not be him, apparently. It might be someone else, and I just go, I would care if we actually knew who the fuck any of these people were besides that.
I don't think we could actually have that working, though.
Yeah.
Like, that almost feels like we've got too many characters all pointing to the same outcome for that to be anything different.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're one and the same kind of deal. Like, that would be the only way I could see that working.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just... I just want to move on. I just want to move on to good stuff. And then,
with Saber, I'm super at the... Yeah, I'm just going to step back from it, let it go for a little while, and come in and see.
mm-hmm.
It's moving too slow. It's not doing anything interesting, in my opinion. Because, yeah, we're getting forms, but that's not interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because, to be fair, we could have got a crap ton of 0-1 forms. If they had wanted to push that hard, they could have.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't because of needing the plot. And I feel like that's where Saber's going backwards with.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm worrying is that we're going to get into the back half of this show and it's going to feel like they had to rush something.
Yeah.
And by something, I mean some major something.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, it's midnight. I need to wrap up. So, anything else before we end off?
I can't think of nothing.
All right, this week it is whatever you're doing Wednesday.
More Shield. Filling
Okay.
in the decks and probably doing more Dynamax adventures.
All right, so that's Wednesday. We're gonna try to get to part 4 Thursday before we do Memory of Heroes. Start Memory of Heroes next week, hopefully, as long as it comes in by then.
Hopefully.
Should be. Yeah. Friday will be us finishing off Luigi's Mansion, most likely. Saturday's podcast. Sunday's 4 episodes of this show that probably gonna make us want to quit again. Go
Maybe.
watch a better
I don't
show.
know.
So if you like what you're seeing, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away at that Filigo. At Teachers on Twitter gets you updates on when we go live. Next page point, Discord and chat. Gets your Discord link. Drop by. Say hi. We got Dropbox questions. Put them in there. We'll answer them. We'll see you next week, folks.